stimulate. Yes, you want to look like that, but because you're standing on a ground where you think you look good in yourself, that you feel comfortable,
but
it works.
But I guess that's my question. Why do we have to feel like we're pretty? Like, what's wrong with me feeling like I don't look good? Like, where does that come from? I guess it's like, why? Is it something innate that we can't explain? Like this desire to want to be pretty versus saying, what if I look in the mirror and I actually don't like it, but I don't place as much value on the idea of being pretty or the idea of being ugly. I'm okay with whatever I am and however I am. And if I look in the mirror and think that I'm ugly, I'm okay with that because ugly isn't about being beautiful, physically beautiful isn't something that's so valuable. Do you get what I mean?
I mean,
do y'all understand where
I get where you're going, but I think it's one of those things like you can't really explain because it is something that's so innate. Because everybody loves, like, apart from physical beauty, nobody says I'm gonna buy an ugly house, right? Nobody says.
Even though people buy those ugly dogs and people love those ugly dogs,
but to them they find the dogs to be like the cutest thing. Nobody says I'm gonna buy an ugly house. Nobody says I'm gonna buy ugly pants to wear or ugly shirt to wear. Nobody says that. But without getting biblical, I mean, this is my ground. Of course, this is not anything biblical, but for me, God made everything, and He said it was good. And we know things that are beautiful because God made them. I mean, that's my ground. That's where, for me, I'm like, we establish this aspect of beauty because when you look at it, you enjoy and you take pleasure in how good something looks. So it is an important thing because, like, for me, I'm like, wow, I never thought of sitting and say, oh, do I take pleasure in things that are ugly? Not really. I don't.
I started watching this show, Fixer Upper.
Ah!
Fixer Upper. And I'm going back since you used to talk about ugly houses. And some of the ugly houses would be worth more than any beautiful house. And they would find more things to do with the ugly houses than they would do with like a regular pretty house. The reason I say this, sometimes there's so much worth to being ugly, but because the word ugly is attached to it, we just overlook it altogether. You know, if they didn't take the time to really look into that ugly house, they wouldn't see what that ugly house could become and have so much worth at the end. You know what I mean? And I say this because it took me being stripped of my hair, my eyebrows, and eyelashes, things that people equate with being beautiful, right? But that's when I felt the most beautiful, to be honest with you. With no eyebrows, and it took me a while to get it because, again, I was stuck in the world. Because, you know, the world says for you to be beautiful, you have to have hair, you have to have eyebrows. Right. Especially now, even if you don't have a little eyebrow you can make it bigger, you can make it as, you know, in different sizes. But I didn't do that. I mean, one time I tried doing the contouring my eyebrows. I hated it. It wasn't me because I felt like that's not what God, that wasn't the message in this, in my journey. The journey was, I'm going to strip you naked so you go back to the way you were. Because even now, when I look at myself, I feel like I'm a baby again. You know what I mean? Everything's starting all over again. Everything is growing. My mom and my aunt, because I've always had, according to them, I've always had nice hair. So every time they see me, they're looking to see what kind of hair, how the hair's growing. What are you guys looking for? Well, you know, you've always had. So what if my hair grows back nappy? There's a pressure, and I started to feel the pressure. Oh my God! I found myself. Oh my God! What if it doesn't grow back the way they expected? I'm like, so it's not pressure. It's like, you know,
something that you can't even control.
Right. You know what I mean? Even these are my older people, my parents, who looking every day. They're looking to see, but they're hoping that it's the curls. They're looking for curls. They're looking for the white hair.
Right.
So to segue, can I ask that question? We're not going to be able to control the pressure that exists. People will always have a comment. People will always say, oh, you look good with this lipstick. Or people will say, oh, no, you don't look good with this lipstick. People will say, oh, yeah, you look good with your short hair. How do girls and women deal with pressure and still be okay with themselves, but yet still try to assimilate to the things they still think looks good?
Right.
So how do we do that? So I'll ask you. How will you be okay while you're at school knowing that you're not skinny, I mean, you're not thick and you don't have the breasts? How will you be okay with that while you're taking all those pressures?
think I don't need to be thick because I know I'm beautiful inside. So no matter what you think, I don't care.
A little sassy here. She's like, no matter what you think,
it's back to that
okay.
confidence. It's a confidence. And where does that come from? It's, again, I have a 7-year-old daughter. And that's my, when she's with me, when we're home, that's her first community. Is how am I building her in that community? So that way when I send her out, and I didn't have that growing up. You know what I mean? If when I first came, my mom was like, listen, you're beautiful just the way you are. I wouldn't look elsewhere to look for that validation. You know what I mean? Because I didn't have it at home. So from her home, her community, I'm validating her. Her father's making sure she knows that you are beautiful. Her father has locks. I had locks. You know what I mean? So are we ugly? No, we're not. So if you think you're ugly, you're saying that we're ugly because you came from us, right? And we come from God. So if you're really saying that God is ugly.
I think that's the thing right there, because even again, it's just this notion of, well, what's ugly, right? And why is it ugly? Why is it not ugly? What's beautiful? Why do I have to be beautiful? Why can't I just be ugly? And I think it is because it's an affront to God. Because when you look at someone's creation and you say that this is, if in your society beauty is important, because I haven't studied every society on earth, so I don't know if beauty is an important thing for everyone. But beauty is important in America, right?
Yes.
And so if then I I make an estimation of somebody or something and say it's not beautiful, I am devaluing it based on American society and American culture. So if I say that's not beautiful, that is as an American saying that it's less worth. It doesn't have as much value to me. And so the reason I'm using that as an example is because when we talk about God and you talk about somebody's creating something in American society, if you've created something and someone says that it's not beautiful, that is me and my culture saying that it's worth less, that it doesn't have as much value. And so I think that makes it an affront to God. So in our particular society, in our cultural upbringing, beauty is an important thing. And when we tell another person that they're not beautiful, that is an affront to the Creator, because we know, because He knows and we know that in this society, beauty is important. And so if I say that that's not beautiful, then that's me saying, God, you didn't make a good creation. And so I really had to be specific. I'm really trying to go there with this specific context, because I would hope that in some place in society, in some culture that I've never been exposed to, doesn't care as much about beauty, and but I'm sure that they, in a way, I guess going back to the idea that there's some innate thing within all of us that appreciates beauty, and I think it's the reason why God has created beauty, because beauty is pleasing. And one way that I kind of define beauty in my head is it's an involuntary reaction almost, because when something's beautiful, you can't help it being beautiful to you. It's just beautiful. And so it's just like, I don't know why this is pleasing to me, but it is, and I want more of it, or something. You want to consume it a lot of times. But I think that this idea that I'm now struggling with, the first time I think in my life I'm struggling with this idea of why do I have to be beautiful? And I think it's because I live in a society where beauty, the idea of beauty, whatever it is, all of our standards of it, beauty is an important feature to have. It's something important to possess. And so going to your question of how do I have confidence about my beauty despite what's around me, or in a way that I can, be a part of the community that I'm around, I think going back to what I think everyone has said, there's starting at home, how you get your confidence, it's a narrative. It's something coming from people around you, giving you stories about beauty and giving you stories about yourself. So I think Beauty Without Borders is doing exactly that. I think we really underestimate the power of a narrative to just say, like, no, you're beautiful. No, you're beautiful. This is what beauty is. This is what it is. And having, and because social conditioning is real. That's real. And family conditioning is real.
That's it.
And so you have this, and I do believe family conditioning is a lot stronger than social conditioning, because like you both said, if you're in a family where they're constantly pouring into you, whatever society says doesn't really have an effect on you. So when you have those constant messages and you have these constant celebrations of what we think is beautiful, what we think is valuable, then that can, in a sense, nullify a lot of the things that are happening out there in the world. And so I think what I need to do personally for myself, because I live alone, or I live with a roommate, but we are not really friends. That's a whole other story. I live by myself, so I don't have that family constantly around me being able to affirm me